All right, welcome back, everybody. It's almost 10:15, so we'll get started here. So welcome. Let's give a warm welcome to Angela here really quick. Appreciate you all being here. And if you have questions at the end, let me know. I'll bring around a mic. Otherwise, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I requested a disco ball and sweet disco music, and I was denied. So there's no dance party. But my name is Angela Drake. I am and always have been a loudmouth mama. Growing up, I was that girl that said on the report card, talks too much. Anyone else? No? Okay. I'm fine to own that. When I became a mom, I was that loudmouth mama all through raising my girls, which came in very handy through some of their battles. And I was the first one to stand up and scream for anything that they needed. And now, as a loudmouth mama, through grief, I didn't shut up either. And I'm going to continue to be that loudmouth no matter what. So it's not often that I need a microphone to do this. I am also a hockey mom, so it's a little warm in here for me. I have always been a proud mother, and I continue to be a proud mother of two girls. My oldest daughter was born in March of 1998. It's easy to say 2000 now, isn't it? My grandmother asked me to call her right away when she was born. And I'm like, Grandma, it might be late. She goes, I don't care. You call me the second that girl is born. So I did. She was born at 12:58 a.m. And I called Grandma right away. And she said, are you holding her? I said, yeah, Grandma, I am, with tears in my eyes, because I was a mom for the first time. And she said, is she cute? I said, well, duh, she looks like me. And she said, just know, every day she will be cute. And some days she's gonna be lucky she is. And this advice came in so handy every day, as every parent in this room knows. Every day they're cute, and some days they're lucky they are. Brittany was the all-American girl, strived to be a great student, a star athlete, and a great friend, amazing sister, daughter, granddaughter, everything. She grew up and was always busy and active, and you can see by everything in these photos, she looked like just that all-American girl that we see everywhere, every day. Her battles started in middle school, and I was always a loudmouth mama screaming for what's next? How do we help? How do we do? What do we do? I have no idea. And I'm screaming for more and more and more. And we fought. Lord, did we fight. I put on an armor when my girls were battling. They needed a voice when they didn't have one, and when they didn't know what to say or do. This loudmouth mama went to war in that armor. We fought with the help of so many people behind us that didn't know either. And so my loud mouth went to work, and I stood up and screamed, there has to be more. I didn't know what it was, and so many people didn't either. Through everything from the outside looking in, She was wearing a mask of smiles, still getting the grades, still playing hockey, still doing all the things, right? By the time she was a junior, everything seemed okay. We looked like everything turned a corner. And we kept fighting and kept battling. Senior year came, and we were still fighting. The darkness kept taking over, and she kept hiding behind that smile. After 17 years, 11 months, and 24 days, Brittany's battle was over. In 1 second, my armor was shattered, and I was standing in this world naked for the first time in my life. The morning of March 24th, I started my day as usual. I got up, I checked on both my kids. I said, "Good morning, sunshine." I got the usual response, "Ugh," as they rolled over and went back to sleep, and I started my day and went off to work. They got up. She took her sister to school. She went back home, and she took her life that day. That moment changed everything except my loud mouth. Loss can take everything from you in an instant. And in that instant, I knew what it took from me. But what I also knew is that it couldn't take everything, because my loud mouth couldn't shut up about what happened. And it couldn't allow me to just sit in the darkness as well. And I could choose to sit in the pain that we were in, or we could keep going. The world was going to keep spinning, and that is reality. And we could choose to sit, or we could keep going. That was hard, because now I was standing there naked without my armor on. But what I realized with every tear that I shed, a new piece of armor was forming. Every bit of our heartbreak will bring out our humanity. We come to look at the world a little bit different with every bit of heartbreak that we have. We see people a little bit differently through our heartbreak, and we can extend just a little bit more grace to each other. We can see people in a new way when we look at life this way. The other things that I've come to realize is heavy things are heavy. And we can choose to try to pick those heavy things up alone and struggle, or we can find a tribe and ask them to help us carry them as well. Now, if you know me, this is not my day job. My day job is I run 2 men in a truck. We lift some heavy things. Well, I don't, trust me. So, with that, I rely on my team to lift the heavy things. So, I was like, oh, that makes sense to do that. So, throughout my life, I've collected some amazing people. And I've built a great community around me. And these people have shown up time and time and time again to help me lift some pretty heavy things. So, just as a visual, if I've got to pick up a washer, that's pretty heavy, right? If I try to pick that up by myself, that's going to be pretty tough. Even if I get a piece of equipment to do it, it's still pretty tough. But if I ask some of my closest and nearest dearest, they might just call somebody and pay somebody to do it, right? And we can do that. There's some pretty great professionals around here that can help us if we pay them to help us do that. Or if we call our nearest and dearest, they're going to help us pick up those heavy things too. So giving ourselves the grace to ask for help to carry those heavy things, make them not as heavy. And that's really important, no matter what heavy things we're carrying. The other thing that I came to realize is the amount of people that showed up when Brittany was gone was enormous. And the support that she received when she was gone was enormous. But what she received when she went back to school after treatment was not enormous. So I think the stigma for the loss after somebody takes their life is gone, right? The work that we need to do is when somebody re-enters society or work or school after they get the help that we're all advocating they get. And I've seen it from friends and other family members that have made that brave decision to go get the help that they need, whether it's therapy, inpatient or outpatient. And then they go back to work and it's like they're a pariah, right? So how do we support after they go get the help that we're all advocating that they get? How do we give them that grace? How do we help them lift that heavy? And how do we come together as a community? So I don't stand here before you asking for sympathy or pity about our story. I'm standing here so somebody else feels safe to go second. So somebody else that can share their story and not feel alone. Whether it's after they get the help that they need or whether they're in the shoes that I'm in. That's why we all stand up and share our story so that the lady in the back can share theirs, or the gentleman in the back, excuse me. Lessons I've learned is to share that heavy. I'm a big fan of Wonder Woman, if we've talked at all. Pow. And being a superhero and Wonder Woman myself, I've learned that there's a reason superheroes have an alter ego. Wonder Woman has Diana Prince so she can set some boundaries. And she can take that break that she needs. Can't all wear our tiaras and capes all the time. I've learned that since Brittany's loss, reaching out to my community and doing something to help others has provided hope in my heart. And we started the Fight Like a Ninja Foundation. What started to just honor my girl and bring girls together to play hockey has turned into so much more. This year will be year 9 that we bring. Last year we had 250 girls come together to play hockey and start conversations around mental health. And this brings families together to play the game that we love, and then they have to talk about something on the way home, right? As a hockey mom, I always said, you put your kids in the car for a couple hours, sooner or later, they're gonna talk to you. Their phone's gonna die, or they're gonna run out of Snapchat streaks to follow up on, or something, right? You gotta take every opportunity you can to talk about something. And every year after that tournament, I get messages from families that have conversations that they didn't know they need to have. We're also able to raise funds through that tournament to give a scholarship to a girl going to college. And we've raised so much money, we didn't know what else to do. So we've started a fund with the Avera Foundation. This year would have been Brittany's 25th birthday. So we started with $25,000 this year. So kids can take money home to get medications. Parents can get money to travel to see their kids. Things like that, whatever the foundation feels like a family may need while their child is there getting help. So those are some things that we've been able to do with that foundation. This Friday night, we're sponsoring a night with Sioux Falls City Football Club, soccer, what? Just another way to start conversations around mental health for youth. They'll be wearing some Fight Like a Ninja soccer jerseys, so if you're not busy Friday night, come on out and join us. Another valuable lesson I've learned is plates. Everybody has different size plates coming into a day. You remember those sweet cafeteria trays that had different sections for all your food, so it didn't have to touch? Those were awesome. Love those. Some days we come into our day with those, and we can carry a lot of things and keep it from touching all day. Some days we come in with those little saucers of plates, and that's all we can carry for the day. And some days we're coming into the day with those crappy little paper plates from the cookout that grandma had, and that's all we got, so don't put much on it. And it's gonna drip through and get my hand all gross. Those days are rough. So be mindful of what kind of plate you're coming into the day with and what kind of day your friend is coming in with. And if you got the platter, and by midday you got the crappy paper plate, give yourself some grace. Offload what you can, take on what you can. And know that everybody is just coming into the day with what kind of plate they've got for the day. Slowly, that armor of mine, like I said, came back just one tear at a time. Some days I got to spit shine it up. And some days it cracks, and some days it's there, and some days it's not. And I have to give myself the grace to know when I've got it and when I don't. But I enter each day with the armor that I have, And I do the work that I do with this loud mouth that I got, because not everybody's got one. And I fight with what I've got, because we can all be part of the solution in whatever capacity that we have. If we've got a loud mouth, we can use our loud mouths. If we don't, we don't. We have to give ourselves and each other the grace to come into the days with what we've got and share it with whatever we've got in the capacity that we've got it. And that's okay. Not everybody has a big mouth. Some of us can write some great letters. Some of us can just be there to listen when we need it. My best support systems are the biggest introverts you've ever met, because they're the ones cheering me on, going, yeah, you go do that. I'll sit here. So they're my favorite people because they will always be there. I've set up for myself an executive board of friendships to hold me accountable to the boundaries that I need. I have a lot of friends, but only my executive board of friendships get the real juicy stuff. Because not everybody needs everything from me. My executive board of friendship helps the most with the heaviest. And they know what I need when I need it. And they're the ones that are checking in all the time and making sure I'm doing what I need to do for me and for everything that I have going on. If you haven't done that, do that. And it goes both ways. Grace. We say this a lot, right? What does grace mean to you? Anyone? Permission is a good one. Permission just for you? Yeah? Permission is good for you and for anyone else. So grace may be permission for me to take a break or to go a little harder today. Do I give myself permission to go hard today so I can take a break tomorrow? It's a little bit of everything. It depends on what you need in every moment, right? We give ourselves grace, we give each other grace. It's not a luxury, right? It's something that we all need at every moment, and sometimes more moments than not. So finding grace has been something that was very difficult for me. Allowing myself to take breaks was hard. I thought I was out to save the world, even if it was just one moment at a time. That was hard to accept, that it wasn't all happening on my timeline, right? I have a big mouth. Why isn't everyone listening? So coming to give myself grace was probably the hardest thing to realize. And then, why wasn't everybody else at my level? So then learning grace for others as well. So putting everything together and realizing that grace is just something that needs to be sprinkled into every single day. So, and it looks like I talked really fast. Forgive me. I did have surgery last week on my throat, so it's, I talked really fast. But that's kind of my presentation on grace and plates and all of the things rolled into one, and I'm happy to take any questions. And this is fightlikeaninja.org is some of the things that I was talking about with the hockey tournament and things like that that we're doing, that we've got going on. That's my sweet little sasshole Butchie right there in there with me. She is my, she's my firecracker. If you've got a family, every family gets a firecracker. If you don't know who it is, it's you. So please know, everybody gets some grace there, and she takes most of mine every day. She's that second born. God bless her so very much. She is definitely a firecracker. She is about to be, what year is this, 23? She's going to be 23 here very soon. So the hockey tournament this year, we're expanding. We've got 19U, 14U, and 12U this year. Super excited about that. So we've brought teams from all over the Midwest. Let's see, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, of course, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska. So we've had a really big outreach. We had a couple girls from Wisconsin come and play on the Ninja team last year. The outreach has just been really, really huge. We partnered with McDonald's in March. If you saw the Shamrock Shakes for Brittany, that campaign was really, really huge, started a lot of conversations. And then in May, we did brownies for Brittany with Chick-fil-A. That was really good. They got a sticker, a Fight Like a Ninja sticker that took them to a website for resources and stuff like that, that with every brownie and Shamrock Shake. So that was really good as well. So lots of loudmouth mama stuff happening. And then November will be the hockey tournament.
Was there any questions from our audience? Would anybody like to ask any questions for Angela? That goes to our virtual attendees as well. If you guys want to put it in the Q&A, I can ask that for you. Just give them a second here.
Yeah.
So, what would have been the most helpful thing, do you think, in terms of reintegration? You talked about people coming out of getting the help that we're advocating them for, but then they're not always loved and accepted and embraced when they come back. So what would have been the most helpful change in terms of when someone comes back into that space after getting help?
I think the most success that I've seen for people is, when they go inpatient, and again, I'm no expert, I promise. I run a moving company. I'm just a volunteer for mental health awareness and things like that. The most successful integration back into like work life that I've seen for adults is, doing a step down program back into work. And just being as real as possible about what they need. Employers, almost see it as like, oh, I can't give you work back because you can't handle it because you have mental problems. And those are bad words, I understand, but that's, what I've heard as feedback from friends that have went and got help and then went back to work. So I wish I had a magic answer. And I think it's case by case with employers, but how do we treat somebody that comes back from a chemo treatment or any kind of health care treatment? How do we treat them when they come back from work? How can we apply that? I think that's a solution that we need to look at, bringing somebody back from an inpatient or, day treatment or things like that. I wish I had. Hi there. I wish we had, some sort of integration program back into workplace or school, especially school for kids. I think there were countless days I know Brittany came home from school just so upset and crying from the, again. Yeah. Yes.
What's the meaning of your necklace? I noticed you wearing it now and in all the pictures.
This is Brittany's fingerprint.
Oh, cute.
Say Anything Jewelry downtown. And so anytime I get to hold Brittany's hand. Yeah, she does amazing work down there. If you haven't ever seen her work, it's amazing. Yeah.
It looks like there's no questions from our virtual attendees, so if we could all give Angela another round of applause. Thank you so much for presenting today. Our next session is due to start at 10:55. If any of our panelists are in here for that, please meet me at the front of the room. Thank you.